Giving, hallelujah, giving the highest praise, hallelujah, giving the highest praise, hallelujah, giving the highest praise. In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise. Hallelujah to my King. Hallelujah to my Father. Hallelujah to my Jesus. I bow before the throne. When I look at all the wonder and I see all the creation, the beauty of the universe, you never change. You never lie. You never. Good afternoon, welcome. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. You are listening to Sport World with our man Emmanuel from Morovia, from Liberia, right here in the USA. New England Bureau Desk of the Liberia Public Radio. My special guest here will be the News Bureau Chief of the Frontpage Africa, Mr. Lennart Dodoo, a veteran journalist, going to be joining me here very shortly. Giving the highest praise, hallelujah. Giving the highest praise, hallelujah. Giving the highest praise. All right, we want to welcome our man David, Bill, and Nanons, Juniors, and the rest of the folks. Do us a favor, just hit the share button. We're going to be having some critical conversation here with respect to the political process in Liberia, actors, politicians, advocates, and people in the media industry as well. Let's get the ball rolling. My guest is already standing by to bring him in here. So let's just get the ball rolling here very shortly. I'm Alfonso Zienso. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens right here this afternoon. Special guest, he's on the phone from the nation's capital of Morovia. We wish to do it by video, but the internet is not just doing all the favors, but still we're going to have the conversation. Mr. Lennart Dodoo is the News Bureau Desk Chief of the Frontpage Africa newspaper in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Mr. Dodoo, good evening, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alfonso. Thank you so much for having me on this afternoon.
Okay. All right. Good to have you. Thank you for taking off your time to be with us here this afternoon from LPR here. Let's start the conversation here right away. By the way, how are you going?
Well, praise be to God. First of all, everything is fine. Monrovia is a wet day today. The weather is cool. So I guess we're trying. We're doing good.
Doing good. Okay. How is the process? It seems to me it's a difficult thing to be in the media industry in Liberia, because when your pen doesn't land where people anticipate of landing, that you are antagonized, you've been labeled, there's a stigma. How is the media industry? How is the coordinations of the media industry that you can tell us?
Well, Alfonso, like you rightly said, once your pen doesn't land where people expect it to land, then you become attacked. But irrespective of that, we as journalists, we have a responsibility to society, no matter what, no matter who our friends are, no matter who our allies are. It is incumbent upon us to report the facts and the truth, and that which we've been trying our best to stay true to in terms of executing our responsibilities. So no matter what they say, no matter the level of threats, no matter the criticisms on physically and on social media, we have been trying our best to do what we know we're supposed to do. And that's where we are.
Okay, so let's talk a little politics here. So we're going to come to the most cardinal issue of the conversation. I think the last time we were together was, is that a year or two ago, when you attended the Agile convention there here in the U.S. in Minnesota, and you delivered a very powerful point at that at the conference here. How is the political process in Liberia, the opposition, the governments, as actors, and as well? Do they see the media as a team, collaborative force to enhance their talking point, or they kind of try to push the media to outside of a way and maybe be selective who to do their talking point with? Is that the case or what?
Well, yes, Alfonso, as you rightly said, 2 years ago, I was in Minnesota and you were there. And I was talking about the survivability of the Liberian media. And from my perspective, the Liberian media is struggling. And if we don't have strong interventions, both from the government side and from media entrepreneurs side, from civil society side, we may have a situation where the media might become, mainstream independent journalism may become extinct because of the challenges the Liberian media is confronted with, especially in terms of dealing with fair reporting on political issues. We know that our country is structured in a way that the government of today controls most of all the activities, especially financial, economic activities. The Liberian media depends on the government of Liberia for most of its revenue. That is, when it comes to advertising, the government of Liberia advertises more than the private sector. So, where in the media, a particular media institution runs into conflict with the government of Liberia, that media institution is likely to become strangulated by the government. So we have been trying our best to see how best we can resolve this. But at the end of the day, it is where it is. And that's the state of the Liberian media right now. And I'm looking forward to being in New Jersey this year for the next House convention, where they will talk the sustainability of the Liberian media. And these are some of the issues that we'll be talking about and trying to see how best we can suggest solutions to making the media more independent and more vibrant.
Okay, I know this may sound a little bit insane. The media of yesterday and that of today, and it is fair to also point out, because time has significantly involved. What are the challenges that were existent yesterday and this time around, maybe a severe or less? You being in this profession, doing what you love doing, is there any sort of is it fair to make such a comparison?
Yes, I can say it is fair to make such a comparison. Allowing freedom of speech is not all to it when it comes to protecting media, but creating a space for the media to survive is also important. So, like in the past, where the media could freely criticize the government and still not worry about the government squeezing their financial inflow, their cash inflow. I mean, there was some level of leverage that the media could operate in. The fear in today's journalism in Liberia is that if you are very critical of the government of the day, you are likely to lose a source of income, a major source of income. And then that makes it difficult for you to actually run as a business in terms of paying your staff. We all know the electricity problem in Liberia. You have to run generator that requires you buying fuel or gasoline almost every day. I mean, it's not an easy task. So when you become financially squeezed by the power that be, I mean, it makes it difficult for you to be independent. It makes it difficult for you to operate. And that's a challenge that most media entities are facing in today's Liberia. Yes, some may argue that some of these things happen in past regimes. Yes, I do agree, but I think it's becoming more and more rampant and more visible in today's Liberia.
In that context here, it seems that the media industry, if not all, even journalists and individuals will be compromised because it is the profession, and that's something that should really survive on. It's not like in the West here. And so when a reporter there sees a story, this story needs to get out there to the public, and someone in a higher up, be a government or outside of a government, that is damaging, it potentially could be compromised because like what you said, the media seems to be the underdog. Nobody sees in. They only become viable when politicians and actors need them to do a story, to do a coverage.
Yeah, without mincing my words, I would say yes. The temptation for journalists and reporters being compromised is there, and it's also very high. But what I do know is that there are still journalists in Liberia that stand to what they believe, that stand for the truth, that stand for professionalism, for ethics. And I mean, those journalists, we must commend them that irrespective of the temptations that exist, they have continued to do their work diligently, professionally, ethically, and still trying to keep the media lane space, balanced.
Okay, that's quite interesting, folks. Here, those of you following us, we are on the line with a veteran journalist, is the new bureau chief of the Frontpage Africa, Lennart Dodoo. He's the author of this most controversial, what you may term it to be, conversation at Senator Lennart Live. We decided to reach out and speaking our first time publicly on the Liberia Public Radio to make sure to get this side. And same invitation will be extended to Senator Dillon, if you wish to appear here. Okay, so this story here that you broke, I listened to your boss. He actually took a position to come into your defense in that what you did a piece of job. So Lena, let me ask you, this post here, let me see here, let me see the article here. This was on the 7th of July, correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay, let me just get the whole caption here. Liberia, Senator Darius Dillon did not say the truth regarding his business class ticket. Investigation reveal. This was, and I will put it here also for the benefit of our listeners who have not had a chance to see this, so that they will see it for themselves. I'm going to put it right here on the screen here as well, and they're going to do it. Okay. So it all started, get me right if I'm going off track here. It all started when the senator was coming to the US, which I believe is still here, and he did a Facebook post, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So what prompted FP8 when he did a post, and that post apparently suggested that he was traveling at an economy class?
Okay, so this is the thing. Alfonso, Senator Dillon is one senator that we as journalists have always looked up to in terms of setting the example for his colleagues at the Capitol building to follow. And that is because of the standards that he has set, the bar that he has raised. And we all felt and some of us still feel very proud of him in terms of his position on issues unfolding at the Capitol building. We do know that Senator Dillon has on numerous occasions spoken against wasteful spending by the government. He has spoken about the economy being quote unquote in the toilet and the need for us to watch our spending as a government and as citizens. So when Senator Dillon traveled to the United States, he did post a picture of himself in a business cabin of Delta Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
That raised many eyebrows. I mean, even by people on social media, by citizens down here in Monrovia, they began to question the senator's stand when it comes to living luxuriously. You and I will agree that flying business class is luxury.
Mm-hmm.
No one can, debunk that. It's luxury once you can afford it. There's nothing wrong with it. Once you can afford it, that's your personal luxury. But wherein it is also has to do with taxpayers' money and set an example, especially from a country where we almost depend on international community for everything. We have to be careful how we lavish resources. So when Senator Dillon posted that picture of himself in the business class, a lot of people were concerned and holding him accountable by his own judgment, his own previous words, and what they know that he stands for. So following the discussions on Facebook, Frontpage Africa Online also picked the story up.
Okay, so hold on. Let me hold you right there, and I will give you the opportunity to expand that because when it was posted, according to you, folks, of course, in Liberia and that of USA, Liberia being a divisive political ground, that of course we know. So let me just ask you this question: did anybody reach out to Frontpage to say, "Hey, this is what is going on. What are you guys doing?" Because usually people will say, "Oh, these people, they don't report certain side and they report this side." I'm just a little bit curious here. Was there any reach out by any Liberian, Frontpage? This is what happening. Why are you not talking about it? Was that the case?
No, that was never the case. As a journalist, our sources of news are diverse. Sometimes we monitor what's happening on social media, what people have interest in. What political actors are doing. Most of these things are placed to social media, and then we'll pick it up from there and expand it, and then allow the argument to go on. So nobody reached out to Frontpage Africa and said, "This is what Senator Dillon is doing. Can you people report about it, or why are you people not reporting about it?" We thought it wise to report on what Senator Dillon was doing in terms of he flying on business class.
What was the important aspect of that to have gone much deeper to know exactly what the senator was doing?
Oh, like I previously said, we know that Senator Dillon had criticized, the government officials for these kinds of wasteful spending in the past. We remember that at the beginning of the regime, the George Weah-led regime,
Samuel Tuer.
The finance minister Samuel Tuer flew business class from Accra, whatever, to Beijing, and that became a whole big issue. Senator Dillon was one of those that really criticized that move, especially when the government had said that things were bad in terms of the economy. So today, to see Senator Dillon also riding business class, when we know that the economy is still bad, when we know that he has labeled his colleagues at the Capitol building as spineless when it comes to wasteful spending, then it raised our brow. We decided to lift the issue, not because we hate Senator Dillon, not because we have anything against him, but to remind him that these are the things that you have criticized in the past. Why are you now also following suit?
So, in other words, what I try to sense out here, he dug his own political grave.
I wouldn't put it that way. He set a bar. He set a standard that has been admired by, Liberians. Senator Dillon won the senatorial election, massively. He won it overwhelmingly. It was a landslide victory. And that's because he set some principles that majority of Liberians, more than 75% of those residing in Monserrado County, believe in and believe that this is what we need. This is the kind of leadership that we need. So we just try to remind him that Senator Dillon, the 75% of those in Monserrado County, knowing fully well that Monserrado County has the highest population in the entire Liberia, thought that you wouldn't be doing these things. This is what you are doing, to their disappointment.
Okay, I know in this business, we keep news proportional, giving everybody the opportunity to get the ad version before publication comes out. That, of course, can question, of FPA in reporting that. In the interest of fairness, and those who might not even know the in-depth of this story, after you saw that picture, did you reach out to Senator Dillon?
All right, so this is what happened, Alfonso. And let's be fair. When we saw that picture of Senator DeLong in a business cabin, we decided to allow the picture to speak 1,000 words like he usually does. So honestly, we didn't reach out to Senator DeLong before the first publication that Senator DeLong wrote business class. So we just wrote a story because we saw him in a business class, announcing his arrival in the United States. Mr. DeLong flew to the United States and rode a business class. To our surprise, Senator DeLong came back hard on us, debunking the fact that he flew business class from Accra to JFK. He posted, screenshots of his ticket that he had purchased that indicated that he flew economy from Accra.
Something he himself posted.
Yes, something he himself posted. He denied that he flew business class. He posted pictures of him in the economy class. He posted pictures of his ticket that he indeed bought economy class. So when he did that, we were taken a bit aback. I mean, he went to the extent of calling some of us silly and dumb.
So let me ask you here. That's sort of weird. It's just sort of, and you're going to continue that because we are gradually getting to the borderline here. Let me just ask you this, Lennart. Is there any sort of rough edges existed with FPA or any of the reporters with that of Senator DeLong in the past that you remember?
Never at all. As a matter of fact, after the first publication, Senator DeLong called me that day. And he tried to raise issues with me that why should we publish such a thing? Why we didn't contact him? And why is it that all the previous good things he has been doing in recent time, we haven't flagged them? And I tried to say, Senator DeLong, with all due respect, you know that we have been publishing everything positive about you. I can list them on and on. I said, Senator DeLong, in fact, if I'm to go further, let me remind you that I personally, including most of my reporters, we even supported your campaign indirectly, in the sense that I personally drove to you on several occasions, drove to your rally on several occasions, gas in my own car, even using my own money to buy scratch cards from my phone to carry you live, both on one-on-one interviews and during your rallies, without collecting a dime for all the promotional stories we did for you. I said, Senator DeLong, you cannot say that I ever took a dime from you. That's a challenge. He can't prove that. He can never say that. I said, and yet we did promotional stories from you because we believed in the messages that you were preaching. So for you to come out today to say we have something against you, that is being ungrateful to our services to you in the past. Senator DeLong, I have never had any form of
why do you think such a question was raised in the first place?
From
Senator DeLong, why he went to that point to ask you why you did this, why he raised that question? You think was there any reasons provided? Just bear with us. Please bear with us.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, we understand that.
Exactly why he decided to ask. It could also be that his supporters were asking him for the facts of the matter, and maybe he felt embarrassed and decided to reach out. But I don't know why he really asked that question.
So, you telling us you did a due diligence? He posted it, the ticket number, which then revealing details that one can easily trace. And moving from there, because he came, like you said, he came high on FPA from that report, he decided to go much deeper to get to the bottom line, what he was saying to find a contract. Is that exactly what you did?
That is the point. Now, Alfonso, Senator DeLong came back reacting and denying that he flew business class, even though we're seeing a picture of him in the business class. Yeah, he tried to argue that he flew economy, and he also posted a picture of the economy. But mind you, we know that he flew economy from Monrovia to Accra. That is something that we cannot debunk. The facts are there. He did fly economy from Monrovia to Accra. So it is not strange that he will post a picture of him in economy class. But he did fly business from Accra to New York after upgrading his ticket.
Mm-hmm.
What Senator Dillon did, I say, is deceitful, and it runs contrary to everything that he has preached. Senator Dillon intentionally concealed the upgraded ticket that he did in Accra. That's
what security people call a cover. So there was a cover up. You think he did that?
There was a cover up by the senator, and even being more deceitful, disingenuous, he went on Facebook and saying that the truth shall always rise, when he knew that he was lying. That is my point. That is my point. At certain stage in life or in public service, people hold you accountable for what you do and what you say. Senator Dillon knew very well he flew business class. Why did he lie that he flew economy? Why did he debunk the FPA story? Did he have any business even calling us at the FPA dumb and silly when he knew that he was only lying?
Those are the words. Are you saying those are the words that he used on FPA?
Senator Dillon hasn't taken down that rebuttal from his Facebook page. It is still there. The rebuttal to debunk the FPA story, he referred to the publication and those of us at FPA and other people who were holding him accountable as dumb and silly. But God,
where be that calling you dumb and silly? Is that a surprise?
I was shocked because as a leader, as a senator, as a public figure, I think you have to always be very mindful of your choice of words. Even in the worst situations, you should know how to address situations, because you never know. The person you might be insulting today might be very cardinal to your political ambition tomorrow. So there is always a way to address situations, especially when it comes to the media, because we don't have side. Everyone is our side. We look out for ills and flag them. But yet the senator went on social media and referred to the publication as dumb and silly when he knew he was only pretending that indeed he didn't fly in business class. That was very disingenuous on the part of the senator who we all believed in. Now, the mistake that he made was that when he posted the original tickets which he purchased that showed that he bought economy class, he left the confirmation number on the ticket. Alfonso, you are in the United States. I have been there a couple of times. We have all flown before several occasions. We know that these airlines have something they call the Sky Team.
Right.
The Sky Team is where one airline links with another airline to get their passenger to his preferred destination.
Right.
Even if that airline doesn't reach to that destination. So he bought his ticket, flew on Alaska Airline, and then from Alaska Airline, he had to fly on Delta Airways, Delta Airlines to America. Now, because he bought his ticket using the whole airline thing, work on the Sky thing, his confirmation number was maintained on Delta Airlines. He posted it showing the original economy class on Delta Airlines. That was his mistake. Now, with the confirmation number and the ticket number, anybody for that matter could track the authenticity of the tickets, which we did. We plugged in the confirmation number. We plugged in Mr. Senator Dillon's first name and his last name in the official website of Delta Airlines. And everything open. We saw the receipt, how much he paid. And we realized that Senator Dillon did the upgrade in Accra. He flew Class Z on Delta Airlines. Class Z on Delta Airlines, by my research, anybody could Google it. It's a higher discounted business class ticket on Delta. Now, you get all the services a regular business class passenger will get on Class Z. The only difference is that just in case you intend to reschedule your flight, or you tend to, cancel your flight or change your flight, you will have to pay extra money because the ticket has already been discounted compared to other regular business class people. So at the end of the day, it is a fact that Senator Dillon flew business class. So why did Senator Dillon lie? I tell people that it is no longer about whether he flew business class or not. It's now a matter of honesty, sincerity, and integrity. Why did he lie?
And I think that is what became a bone of contention.
With the publication, I did send Senator Dillon a screenshot of his own ticket. I emailed his entire travel itinerary to myself, and then I sent it to him on WhatsApp, saying that Mr. Senator Dillon, you did say that you flew economy class. Delta Airlines
is proving something different.
You flew business class.
And what
in
did
fact, the status there is that you already flown the business class. How do you reconcile the two statements?
What did he say?
From that day to today, Senator Dillon hasn't commented. He hasn't responded to my message on WhatsApp, even though the two blue check marks shows that he read the message.
Up to this interview, he has now responded neither to you or any of the reporters at
Alfonso,
FPA.
are you there?
I'm listening to you. Are you hearing me? Hopefully the line. Are you hearing me, Lena?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, okay. I was asking, since the message was sent to him, up to the presence of this conversation that we are having now, any message that's reached FPA, BAU, or indirectly any of the staffers at FPA regarding that, as you can confirm?
Senator Dillon, up to today's date, hasn't responded to the message I sent to him. He hasn't. I sent him a screenshot of his own ticket, asking him to confirm it, asking him to reconcile his previous statement that he didn't fly business class compared to what Delta Airlines was telling us. To today's date, he has not responded.
What that suggests?
Neither has he reacted to the story that he lied on his travel tickets.
What it tells you as a journalist?
It simply tells me that Senator Dillon, at this point, where everything is proven with facts, not just a picture, but facts from official source, has no defense. Maybe he has decided to let sleeping dogs slide. Maybe that's his own political rhetoric to let it slide so that it doesn't become a major issue. But it tells me that my story is authentic. Senator Dillon has no defense. Senator Dillon flew business class from Accra to New York, and he lied about it.
And Frontpage didn't just stop there. There was an editorial that came, Liberia, the arrogance of power, and you too, Senator Dillon. Those are very strong words.
Yes, that's correct. And that is to let Senator Dillon know that, it's not just about him being Senator Dillon. It's something that we have seen happening from time to time. I may be too young to say this because I was too little by then, but when the Dodoo regime started, from numerous accounts I have read and heard, theirs was to fight corruption in the previous government. But then it ended, and because of corruption, the Dodoo regime ended up killing people, putting people on firing squad. What happened at the end of the day? They were involved in the same thing, in the very same thing. We saw it in Ellen Johnson regime. She spoke about corruption. Corruption was the topic of the day during her entire 12 years of power. We saw it, and Senator Dillon had constantly spoken against wasteful spending and corruption. We are not saying that he's corrupt, but then he has spoken about wasteful spending in the previous government. Senator Dillon is now doing the same thing. It happened in the previous regime. We spoke about it. If Senator Dillon is doing it, we'll talk about it.
Okay. You know us
Don't talk
here.
about.
Yeah, you know us here at LPR here. We try to keep it proportional to make everybody views and opinion heard. This thing is taking a lot of time, and because politicians who are in the eyes of the camera, people put GPS on the entire people monitor them 247, and it is very difficult. And they will try to distinguish themselves from government and in their private life. But I can for sure tell you, and you are saying the social network is being burst into flame by the supporters. On the other side, people are also cheering you. But this is what Dennis Keka, Mr. Keka, is writing here. Did Senator Dillon travel on government duty or on a private duty? Did he use government's money or his personal money? What do you want to achieve in this? Now, this is common. This is typical. We have seen this from time to time to time because of the electorates of people that have taken sides. Anything that does not go in their way, they do everything possibly they can. They were defended. We see here in the Trump world that people believe up to this time that the election was rigged. Now, how can you respond to this here? Does it matter here? He projecting two things here. Okay, he's a senator, but we don't know yet. I haven't heard anything. I haven't spoken with him directly. He will be appearing on Spoon and we'll be monitoring to see. But how can you square out the arguments of Dennis here that I don't know whether if Dennis have any specific information, he can help us. We appreciate that. But to ask the question whether it was even government or his personal, how do you square that out? Personal money.
Alfonso, before I come directly to that answer, which I
just bear with us. I think there's a little bit of interruption here. We try to get him even on the video.
Christians, yeah, when Christians are benefiting from, when some Christians are benefiting from corruption, they call it the grace of God. They call it grace. And that's funny. You know, like I said previously, it's not a matter of whether Senator Dillon flew business class or not anymore. That is not.
Oh, Liberia internet service is so ridiculous.
Yes. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah,
you know that Senator Dillon can afford business class on his own. Whether it's wasteful spending, whatever it is, he can choose to do anything he wants to do with his money. The issue here now that we expect Liberians to be looking at is the fact that Senator Dillon, who knew very well he flew business class, will come out and lie and say he didn't fly business class. What is the intent of he lying? Why should he lie? He's a public figure. Why should he deceive his followers? Why should he deceive the public?
They don't see it that way. They don't. It doesn't matter. And this is the bizarre and terrible thing that we have in the country, because if I support someone and I can even encourage that person to be sincere, to be honest, it tells us that we are in a deep trouble. They don't see it that way. So how can we change this narrative?
Alfonso, you and I know that if Senator Dillon was a senator in the United States and carrying out such an act, by this time he had resigned. Because this is very highly unacceptable in the public space when it comes to public service. It's very highly unacceptable. So it shocks me that we'll have Liberians who will come out to defend Senator Dillon, even though this truth is staring at them boldly in their faces. This is what has kept our country backwards. As my work as a journalist, it is as a journalist, it's my work to expose these kinds of public insincerity by public officials. And that's what I did. Nothing personal.
Yeah, and we have seen these things being happening over and over, even within the government. People, they are officials, and some of the folks will do terrible things, and the people will come and defend it to the call of their bell, even when they were taking on firing squad. It is happening within the opposition as well. So how can one easily say if this is happening? And your boss, Mr. Tarokni, see it. He was on Spoon Network a couple of days ago here, and he said Senator Dillon has changed, and more or less he has surrendered or succumbed to Senator Nyombli Kangat Lawrence, who is the political leader of the opposition Liberty Party. Are you in accord with what Rocknick said?
You know,
has he surrendered to Nyombli?
The fact is that, I mean, Nyombli said that Senator Dillon is her most trusted ally. She posted that to Facebook. She said that she knows very well the kind of relationship, the kind of, cordiality between she and Senator Dillon before coming up with that kind of public statement. So yes, I will agree with my boss that Senator Dillon has succumbed to Nyombli. Before Senator Dillon went in the Senate, Senator Nyombli Kanga was there. A lot of the things that are happening now were happening at her time. We didn't see her speaking about it that much. When Senator Dillon went there, we did see him. I mean, we did hear him speaking against some of these things. But to our utmost surprise, I think he's dwindling when it comes to standing up for what is right. Let me say, the issue of the 15,000 that came out, that was shared among all legislators.
Mm-hmm.
Senator Dillon wasn't the first person to raise, issue with it on Facebook. As a matter of fact, it was Senator, what's his name, and from my GB. The former
Oscar Kuya. I mean, not Oscar Kuya, Oscar Cooper?
Not Oscar Cooper, but Emmanuel Nukwe.
Oh, Nukwe. Okay.
It was Senator Emmanuel Nukwe who posted to Facebook that he received 15,000. He was the first person to make it public, not Senator Dillon.
Wait a minute here. Yeah, wait a minute here. I'm getting to know this yet, and a lot of people they don't find time. They like these news network that doesn't have a station, and they monitor and pick up the news and run with it and go wild like a virus. So what you are telling me is now Senator Emmanuel Nukwe, who alleged that he received 15,000. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. It was Senator Nukwe who made the public aware that $15,000 was shared amongst all the senators and members of the House of Representatives. It wasn't Senator Dillon. He wasn't the first. The only reason why all eyebrows are on Senator Dillon is because after Senator Emmanuel Nukwe had posted to Facebook that he received the money, then Senator Dillon also came out public. Now, it's because Senator Dillon has set some standard, has set the bar so high that we all admire him for that. That's when we began to question, but Senator Dillon, did you receive this money? On what basis did you receive this money? Is this money legal? Are you supposed to accept this money? And that's when it became an issue. But I can safely assume that if Senator Nukwe had not made it public, I'm not sure that Senator Dillon would have made it public. And that's
so it's actually, from what I'm hearing, and I will try to do a follow-up here, hopefully to get a word from Heath and Nukwe here, but it seems to me Senator Dillon then took the news beat. Nukwe posted, Nukwe ended up being around here, they came back here, but like you said, and it's true, I don't know why people don't want to believe that, because Dillon, he sets a high standard and he must be held. And some of the supporters also is a hair scratching. And I think we all have to do this. Whether you support the government or you support the opposition, when your person that you support does it wrong and made a poor judgment, no one is infallible. People are here. But the idea of the same thing that we are trying to wash out of the hands of the government, we frown on them, everybody frown on them, and people are very much defiant to give justifications of this action, then that is terrible. If and only if what you are telling me now, that Nokwe was the one that flagged this, and then Senator Dillon, he's a very good guy, complete political satire, and took the story and make it to be what. So let me ask you this, Lennart, you on ground there, I believe before one is inducted, there is a package given to them, correct? Be a senator or representative.
I cannot be definite on that. I don't report from the Capitol building,
okay.
But that is what.
Yeah, okay. We will try to just bear with us. We will try to find out all of that, because when there is a package that giving, then I assume that everything must be detailed. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm with you.
Yeah. Okay. The reason I'm asking that, I want to know all of the senators or those that were elected, if you are elected, I want to know whether you were told how much you're going to get or was some sort of debriefing when you got to know that this such amount was a portion. Because, hey, these people are the first branch of government, and we expect them to hold the executive branch of government to accountable. And this seems all to be compromised, because if this is the case, then that's a serious problem. But we'll wait and see and hear where Senator Dillon will be saying on the Spunt Network here. What is it?
What I have. This is what I have to say to that. Senator Dillon has been in the Senate since, if I'm not mistaken, since 2018. The budget under question is the budget 2019, 2020, 2021. Now, Senator Dillon was in the Senate when this budget was passed. This money, according to all the defense the Senate and even Senator Dillon has given, is that this money is legislated, is legal, it's in the budget. He saw it in the budget. He did not criticize it. He did not raise issue with it. It passed, and then he duly received it. It is true that now he has acknowledged that it was wrong and it's not supposed to be there. But he was there when it passed.
He was there.
Yes.
Do you know whether, I don't know whether there was a vote, and this is why I think we need to turn our camera on in the place there, so we will know exactly who getting against or for. We have to find out how true this, because that's very much significant. We need to know all of them, who knew what, how long before even this money, and we don't know when the last one going to come. But the bottom line here, the timing of the money, I think that's one of the things Liberians, people, ordinary people, free thinkers like us frown on. How can Senator Dillon, get into fight with FPA or any media outlet? I haven't seen anywhere in the world, not even in the USA, we saw the coming down of Trump, because you can't go into a fight. Taylor did that. Samuel Doe did that. You can't go into a fight. That does not also mean that the media will always pick on you, because they have the tools, they have the skills, they have the capacity to go beyond the bell, to go beyond the camera and get out things here. Is he messing up?
Well, so Alfonso, the media is not infallible. I will tell you for a fact that before we went further to do our investigation to prove that Senator Dillon rode and flew business class, when he did his reaction on Facebook, even though he rained insults at us, we did carry his reaction that Senator Dillon says he did not fly business class, but rather he walked from the economy class to the business section to speak to a foreign friend whom he did not name. We did reflect his side of the story, because at that point in time, to be honest with you, he left us in a state of doubt. While we knew that we were to further investigate, we still gave him the benefit of the doubt to carry his side of the story. That's what we did. But it didn't mean that we ended it there. That is why you see our next headline was that Dillon lied. We say that, okay, Dillon said this, but then we realized that he lied. So we came back to also tell the public that Dillon lied. You see,
you still stand by that. FP still stand by that. That news stand, correct?
Which news stand that he lied?
Yeah.
Yes, we stand by it. We stand by it 100%. Every staff of FPA can stand by that.
Now we are anxious. We are anxious to hear to know what he's going to be saying. Politicians are gifted in restructuring their tone, their message, their lines, and the punches, and they have their people there to cheer them up to the day end. If for any reason, if you were to come out with different revelations than what we are hearing and what we have read in FPA, will you come up with a different version?
Well, there's the thing, Alfonso. When we found out from Delta Airlines official website, that's flew in business class. We did a screenshot. I personally did a screenshot from Delta Airlines official website. I did email Senator Delon's travel ticket and itinerary to myself, officially from Delta Airlines to myself. I sent him a screenshot of that to Senator Delon and asked him for comments. Senator Delon never commented. And the time the story was published that Senator Delon lied, Senator Delon up to now hasn't commented publicly on that publication. I think he has had ample time. I think FPA did due diligence. I'm yet to see what kind of defense Senator Delon will give. Holding all things constant from what transpired between Senator Delon and Frontpage Africa, there is nothing relating to this travel ticket that Senator Delon can say that we can believe him back. He has proven to be deceptive when it comes to this. He has proven to us that he lied. I stand by it. I can stand in front of Senator Delon, look him in the face, and tell him that Senator Delon, yes, you're my senator, but you lied on this topic.
So, it's a fair being joined by our analyst, Amos George from Atlanta, Georgia. So, it's a fair, these histories about past and the present. And some of us said in the past, the tone, the language that he used to address his colleagues is not a right way to go, because it's all about consensus building in parliament in order, because you just don't want to be there. There's something called legacy, and part of that is to form that sort of a relationship with your colleagues so as to push your agenda. And he called those guys spineless. So can they come back and call him spineless as well? Because those were some of the things that he frowned on. Or is it fair for anybody to call him as a spineless guy too?
Is that for me or the political analyst?
Yes, it's for you, and I will come to Amos Joyce, but you are the guest. I mean, he did call those people spineless, and see why? Because I believe in my judgment, I haven't had a chance to speak with him, but the message of him, the behavior of people at Capitol Hill, those were some of the things I think he came out to that conclusion that they were spineless people. Now we are now. Similar thing moving in similar directions. So is it fair for them to call him spineless, or any other person, or they say, hey, but you are a spineless guy too. They see what you have done. Why should he even lie? There's nothing wrong with even upgrading. Anybody does that. It's a long flight. Maybe he wants to relax, to travel, which is okay. But why would you want to do that? Because if you do that, it's a cover up. Then people will begin to start thinking much deeper. What was the motives of that? I don't know whether it's a government sponsored trip, whether it is a trip, but even at that, as an official of government, and I'm quite sure when he's meeting people here, he's not meeting anybody here as just Abraham Dillon, Darius Dillon. He's a senator of the Republic of Liberia. So if there were anything to happen, he will be addressed as a senator of the Republic of Liberia, not just only Darius Dillon. And that's why I think people need to grab that concept. It's like, George, we are telling us, I hear the Mayflower today. And I hear as a president, come on, you are here. People there, you still enjoy the militate. you still enjoy the militate. So it reminds me when he was going under the Sacramento Treaty, I'm not here as a president today. Go ahead, and then I will ask Amos.
Well, I will tell you that I have already referred to Senator Delon as spineless. I did that on a local radio station in Monrovia. Oh. And my reason for that is Senator Delon cannot be bold enough to tell the public that he flew business class, and he will lie about it, then he's spineless. I mean, having the spine is being able to stand up and speak the truth and stand to what you believe in, stick to what you stand for. So if he cannot do that, then you are spineless.
Okay, I think other people coming in here. Let me ask a question here. Tracing that ticket you were talking about, you said those information were obtained on the website, or you also managed to speak with folks at the airline?
It was obtained on the website of Delta Airlines using Senator Delon's travel ticket confirmation number.
Yeah, I mean, once it's anything that is posted, it becomes something. Okay, let me go to Amos George here. Pa George, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. How you doing? And to Mr. Dodoo.
Okay, Are you on wheel trying to get to the bottom line of this case too, or of this talking point, or what? Are you going?
Yeah,
where are you going to find the truth at?
the truth is already there. This man, the senator is spineless. And I said this: one who preach equity must come with clean hand. Down Senator Down didn't raise the bar up, and everybody was cheering him.
They don't see it that way.
Eh?
His supporters don't see it that way.
Well, I mean, but that's why those are the people I refer to as fanatics. They don't see nothing wrong with that, but then they go after other people when it's not in a shoe, and that way I have a problem. If we say we want to be a vibrant nation based on transparency, then of course we have to hold all those in authority, regardless of what camp they come from. Okay, and that's my argument. I said it. Senator Dillon did raise the bar to that level. Fine, there was nothing wrong with it. We all appreciated it. But then, if you cannot lay up to that standard, then we got to question your motive. For me, it appears that this man is not honest. The senator is not being honest. Because the same issue that Mr. Dodoo raised, that's the question I've been raising. When does the senator realize that the money was put in the budget? And if he did so, why did he come out to inform the Liberian people that, look, this money has been placed in the Honorable Liberian Senate, but I don't think we need this money. That money is supposed to be used for something else to develop or to help do something in the country. I'm just raising the flag. So tomorrow when they come out, people cannot say, oh, I saw it and why they informed them. That would have been the road to go, the path to go. Then you would say, oh, this man is honest. But he sat in there. The money passed. He received when he received it, that was one thing. He did not announce it. Another senator has to break the news before he coming out. That was supposed. So okay, let me put it this way. Suppose that Senator Nukwe had not raised the issue, had not flagged it. Would Senator Dillon come again? This is not his first time. It happened with the $6,000 when they received that money. Okay, and that was it become a pattern of this man. And if it is going down this route, we have to call it what it is. Then he becomes deceptive. He's not honest. The spineless thing he spoke about, because if you are spineless, I mean, you can't, that means you got no principle. You have to have a spine to say, oh, look, this is what it is. And I must say, whether right or wrong. Yeah, it's the thing here. If Senator Dillon was spine, he had that spine that he spoke about. Look, he took his own money. Let me give him now. Let's assume he took his own money. He bought his first class ticket. He worked for the government Liberia. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, right.
To come out and say, look, you know what happened? Yes, I'm right first class ticket. I bought it with my own money. Nobody will question that. But when you start to say, oh no, I went to see a friend, then oh no, you know, I pay for it. Then your character began questionable. And this is where this is the dilemma Senator Dillon found himself in. How can he explain this now? What is the equity he's been preaching about? Where is it now? So I say to his supporters, his character has become questionable. To many Liberians, if he don't know it, and why he taking so long to respond. And let me say this. Those who follow Senator Dillon, his supporters, Mr. So they have said something that if one question Senator Dillon, he will block that person, he will not talk to you again. Many of them have said on different programs that he blocked them because they question him about some activities. And this is not a leader supposed to be. A leader, you are serving other people. When you err, when your supporter talk, apologize to them and move on. But when you turn to block certain people, then of course I question how sincere, what is the sincerity that you have? This is the problem. And Senator Dillon, one thing I noticed, he has temperament problem. He has a temperament.
Okay, hold on one second. You have added another parcel here. Let's see people who have acted with me. I did in the past 2 years ago. I drove to his house, Bananve, in an exclusive. Even when you wanted an interview, we still leave our lines open to come here. But that has been the patterns and the path of our politicians, both government, opposition. They become more selective where to go because they need an easy pass so that the next time the bill can come after them. But you said something here. Let me go to Lena here. Dodoo, Mr. Dodoo, are you there?
Yes, I'm still here, Alfonso.
Okay, this is what Amos Joyce is saying. He's another type bold-faced guy here. When the opposition does it wrong, he blasts. Nobody's tapping. When the government, when you get on CDC, oh my God, hell break loose. Here we are. He get a supporters who are going to stand with him. It's almost like reminding me like we are gradually finding ourselves in the Trump war. You have the seditions who will also back their people when Akara Grace and others says ridiculous thing. They will come in their defense at all costs, pull out all of the garment to fire back if need be. We having now the opposition most likely is also driven in that direction. So where is the alternative?
Well, and you see, that is the reason why some of us are holding Senator Dillon accountable, because he came in with a flair, with a difference that we as media practitioners, also who can also serve as a judge of society, were looking out for, and also what the public were looking out for. That we are looking for someone who can stand for integrity, sincerity, honesty, and all these things. When Senator Dillon came in with that. So if he's beginning to do what is otherwise, it is incumbent upon us to say, hey, Senator Dillon, this is not what we signed up for. This is what we know you to be. And that's the essence of all these things that, all these publications that you see Frontpage Africa doing. It's not because we hate Senator Dillon. It's because he being the opposition tried to show that, yes, there can be an alternative that the public can rely on when the government is failing. But now, as it is, he is creating doubts in the mind of the public.
Has he put a political dent on his character? Is it fair to conclude that, or can he still have time in his favor, correct?
Senator Dillon he's a 9-year senator. He's yet to conclude the first 1 year. So he has a long way ahead of him. The only thing is that he is fast from the way he's proceeding. If he doesn't put in checks, his popularity, the belief that the people have in him will quickly diminish. He's going to dash the hope of so many Liberians. And that which we pray shouldn't happen, because he's the voice of many people in the Senate, and he needs to continue on that path.
Okay, yeah, we're getting a tweet here. We always bring tweet here, whether if for is gains. I don't know why. Echo Hapcoat David. I will just call your name, Mr. David, if you will. You people hate him from all indications.
Yeah, I see that coming.
You have this people who are in support of people say, well, we hate. I don't know the connotations of that, what he's trying to say. Where is honesty? Maybe we don't. We'll put the line off of one of few calls before we can go. Now, Pa Joyce.
Yeah.
Pa Joyce.
Yes, sir.
Do you hate Senator Dillon?
Why should I listen to them? I'm married, man. But because I'm married, so if he's gonna run pair, I should support him. Then I don't like him. My speaking is to call him to attention.
So when George Weah does it wrong, and people and the sedition comes in defense of George Weah, does that mean, and people saying that, does that mean then people hate George Weah as well?
Yeah, but this is why I try to tell you, Mr. So, the people who believe in these people don't see anything wrong, even when they're going wrong. They don't see anything to tell them. And this is the same thing. People who support the government come up and they deflect. They say, oh, they did it in the past. But because we're doing in the past and was wrong with France, why now we cannot call upon it? Then why are we talking? So we should not talk one side. When the government does it wrong, that's the side we should talk about. But people in the opposition, when they're going wrong, we should not talk about it. And that's where my disagreement comes with them. It is their right to say, look, they support Senator Dillon for what he's doing. But for me, and for many Liberians, I will not condone that action. If we want Dillon to succeed, then of course we got to call him. Where he makes mistakes, we got to call him and say, look, this is where you went wrong. Okay? And if we are not doing that, we are not helping Senator Dillon. So the young man who posted that, I mean, these are the problems we have in the country. That people, when they support people, they don't see anything wrong with that person doing something wrong. All is right once it's in the camp. But when they flip on the other side, then they go, wow. They want everybody to go wow on that person. And we are sitting down here just this week. We're talking about assistant minister wasting champagne on a car. People say it's wrong. But guess what? The other people that came to say, oh, there's nothing wrong with the man. It's working for his money. In this kind of time, and this is the problem we are having. For me, I will not give no opposition, imposition, government official any path when it comes to the Liberian people, because it is the people of Liberia interest come first before any other person. And if what we are seeing, for me, what I'm seeing, I mean, you don't have to agree with me, but I will speak the truth. Where it lies, where it goes, that way we will go for it. And what Senator Dillon did, he was deceptive, and he must take full responsibility for it. And from now on, I think Senator Dillon need to recalibrate. He need to sit down and look at himself to determine where he's going. Because every time this thing happens, he come back, oh, he will deny, and then will come back, oh, I apologize. This is politics. This is politics. Not every time, oh, I apologize. Then when you're doing so, you're putting your credibility at stake. Yes, he has 9 years ago. There's room for improvement. I do agree. But at the beginning, these missteps, it's not right.
Okay, let me pick up here to my man got disconnected. We have to see what I can call him for a connect to make a final statement. But let me go to neighboring Massachusetts for this call. Caller, good afternoon.
How you doing, sir? This is Dwalu. How's everything, brother?
Hey, my son, what's up?
Not too bad.
Dating, I don't know. We people will develop high cholesterol and high blood pressure with elaborating this sort of endless thing here. Look, my man, yeah, what's up?
Let me make this first disclaimer. I'm an unrepentant supporter of Senator Ibrahim Dillon's vision. Not Senator Dillon, but his vision to institutionalize governance in Liberia. I want to make that very, very clear. I support the higher ideals that Senator Dillon has subscribed to. But people have to be frank here. Senator Dillon's intention, maybe from Liberia, was to fly economy class. He had no business telling a lie in that direction. You have to be truthful to your people. If you set yourself up on a pedestal, you have to live up to those ideals. Simple things, simple lies. They're very crucial. This is how people build up lives along the way. Although I support Senator Dillon's push for institutional governance in Liberia, I would not support something that is against the people of Liberia. And I believe in this faction. If anybody say, well, it's his own money, it's not about his own money. People are missing this point. It's about establishing a degree of truthfulness and integrity in Liberia. If we set this bar very low, Senator Dillon eventually is going to abuse that. People have to understand it. It's about Liberia. Whether it's your own money or not, we don't care. We care about you being truthful to the people. There was no harm. A senator, they don't say, listen, a full economy from Liberia. When I got to Ghana, there was a deal going on. It is a glorified economy. It's called.
It's a long flight. It's a long flight. You know,
it's a long flight. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done that in the past, and I understand completely what he does. Sometimes a deal comes up, you cannot refuse that deal. But there was no position in lying. And number one, Senator Dillon, sometimes I said, Senator Dillon, there are certain things you don't talk about. But I want to say something to Pat George that Pat George said. You're saying Senator Dillon should have come out when the budget was passed. So listen, in the budget we have this thing. He cannot do that about every single thing. I understand what you're saying, Pat George. It makes sense, but not everything. This is why I continue to push. Make the budget public. Let us read it. Senator Dillon alone cannot look at everything. I am not defending his position. My thing is, if we are going to have the kind of governance we want in the country, you have to be forthcoming to your people. Whether they're lucky or not, just tell them the truth. Let it be raw and unadulterated. Let them take it as they go, please.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
all right. Let me pick up this call so I will go to my man for his final statement. The internet problem. Christopher Tobasi, are you there?
Yeah, Honorable Sue, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead quickly. What's your
look, when the people were accusing Dillon of all kinds of things, I say you get a young man the opportunity. every Liberian should have a shot. But I'm not surprised that Delon was going to be swallowed up in corruption and lies. You know, it's the Liberian way of doing business. You know, but the matter of fire is that, I mean, we are only calling on Senator Delon to come out and give us some evidence and give us some clarity. You know, it's just simple clarification. Show us your ticket, give us certain things that we are asking for, and you're free to go.
What are you asking for? What are you asking for?
We're asking for the ticket, the date and time. We're asking for, you know, whether
so you are the research guy for article. You are the research guy for Prince Shari. I think this kind of play into your hands correctly, right?
Yeah, because in the past we gave evidences, and Delon said that it was lie, but he failed to produce his own. I mean, try to exonerate yourself now. Okay. If you're saying our evidences are lie, if you're saying what we're talking about is not true, but then bring something. You say you didn't write first class. We say you wrote first class. You didn't go speak to somebody in first class. Then show your proof.
Okay, Christopher, let me call my guy quick here for his closing, and then with something. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, but Joy, just hold on. I think you're finding it difficult to get back here. Let's see. I don't know what's going on here too. It's just this here. Just bear with me, folks. Let me just get to Dodoo for his closing to remarks, and then we can call it deal. We can call it for the days. Please just bear with me. All right, so we will keep having this conversation, but we'll wait and see. Oh my goodness, something not going right here. My assistant is just frozen to call here. Let me see, and I can't get him yet. Let me just take a quick break here, then okay, let's see. All right, let me just do that. All right, just bear with us here, and then I will let him make his final statement. Okay, Lena, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm back. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, okay. I know it's kind of getting late there now. It's Saturday. You got to go do your own stuff here. Okay. Also, this is it. What would be your wrap-up statement here? Or is there any specific thing that you want to talk about before we let you go?
All right. So I would like to clarify that our recent publications on Senator Delon, it's not due to anything personal that we may have against him. No, we wouldn't be that unprofessional. But it's just fair journalism and holding Senator Delon accountable by the very standards that he has set, holding him accountable for the same things that we have held previous and even current officials of government accountable for. And he shouldn't see it any different. He's not above reproach. When he does well, we will commend him. We have written editorials before commending Senator Delon for being that one senator that exposes the ills in the Senate. We have done that on numerous occasions. So when we begin to reproach him also for things that we think aren't right, I don't think it should be misjudged by him nor his followers. Ours is duty to the public, it's service to the public. We will encourage Senator Delon to see this, to use this to realize that eyes are on him, people are watching him, and there are millions of Liberians that are counting on him to make the difference.
Okay, before let you go, let me ask you, Mr. Dodoo, is there any possible scenario that you can think on top of your head after the interview on such, I believe they say he appeared on Tuesday? Is there anything on top of your head that could possibly retweet or rechange the story that came out of Frontpage based on what Senator Delon going to be saying? Is there anything that you can imagine?
From what I have seen, from what I know, from my investigation, there is nothing that will be truthful that can change the story, unless it's not truthful. And I say this because the first reaction Senator Delon brought that tried to change our initial publication wasn't truthful. It wasn't truthful. Right now, I'm convinced beyond all reasonable doubts that there is nothing truthful that Senator Dillon can say, other than admitting the fact and probably apologizing and, promising to do better next time. I mean, nothing else can change the narrative. What we report.
Do you think he's going to apologize? Do you think he's going to take responsibility? Our Liberian politicians are not noted of doing that anyway. That I can say.
That is what good leaders do. That is what we expect him to do. If he does that, fine. If he doesn't, then we just know the kind of person he is.
We just know the kind of person he is. Okay. Well, that's veteran journalist and news bureau chief of the famous Frontpage Africa News Online. The Liberal Progressive on the line said it's a double sword. And that's how people, so the day they shot you, the day your hand goes in the door once, it's okay with you. But when you flip your hand on the other side, and that's it. And I think these guys, everybody doing it, I think it's good in this field for people to hold national leaders accountable. And I mean, that's how it should be. We see it here, and he's quite correct. If any certain U.S. senator to represent, we saw many of people here they resign for little or nothing, just because people they lie and they need media's kind of gang before their house supporters and people and say, hey, you got to do this. But unfortunately, we don't see these things happening. But we have to encourage our people to be honest. This is how it starts. This is how we raise these little alligators. And when it becomes a giant-sized alligator now, then there's no way you can control it. We have seen these things happening in the past, long time, and they are still happening. And so we need to have that sort of courage. If you like somebody, you want to be honest to them. You don't have to come out to insult. People who insult, they just do not have, it brings into question their sort of leadership. How the hell are you going to cause people and you say you want to lead people? But you know what? Liberia is a different land by itself. Cost people mind, cost people power, cost the hell out of everybody, and you gain prominence in society. Do you see that happening in this country that often? Well, someone who broke the chain was the Trump. But we have to change. That is not our culture. That is not who we are. Conversations of civility that you would persuade and convince people, that's what we're supposed to be doing. My dear brother Lennart, thank you so much for your time, and I will pray that I see you here soon our AJA conventions in the Garden State of New Jersey anytime a couple of months from now. Thank you so much for taking up time to speak with us, and I will talk to you right after the program.
Thank you, Alfonso. Thanks so much for having me on.
All right. Okay, so by George.
Yeah, let me just say something. This is the same problem we're talking about. Tubasi came out to say Darren is corrupt. You got no evidence to show that Darren is corrupt. The $15,000 in question was passed by the Liberian Senate. What we're saying, it was wrong for them to put that in the budget. And it was wrong for them to receive it. And it was public. Now, to come and say the man is corrupt, you have to have some evidence.
What do you expect from Christopher Tobacco?
Yeah, but I mean, this is the problem that some people have with us. And someone will not support kind of our statement to come in and just say, oh, the man is corrupt. No. The issue of someone being deceptive or dishonest is a different issue. And someone being corrupt, those are different issues who can address. But because you're in the camp of the other side line, you come to flare, oh, the man is corrupt. No. That's not how you determine corruption. So, Mr. Tubasi, I just want you to bear in mind.
But believe me, when you listen to Prince Sherry or or my own Comrade Gilmore right now, that's Zion Grove Baptist Church has had more membership. That's what. But when the day Frontpage were doing it, goes in there again, then come by and say, "Well, you see it." This and that.
And this is why we're talking about that. We're talking about Senator Dillon because of the bars you have raised. So, Senator Dillon, you have to be very careful because many people depend on you. So when you start,
here, before we go here, I'm already out of time. What do you think you're going to be saying on Tuesday on Spoon Network?
Look, the best thing I know he will come out and give some maybe excuses that they were done, but at the bottom of what I want this man to say is to come to reassure his supporters. People, I did err. I made a mistake, and I asked him for forgiveness. It was not my intention to do it, but I did it out of maybe out of ignorance. I didn't know that it was going to go this way. But I sincerely apologize.
What happens when he take a political line and take to defend his actions? What will happen?
Oh no! If you do take a political line, then of course he's now opening a Pandora box, because people will all make reference to it. They will not say, "Oh, he told responsible and apologize." They will say it become defined.
I have said this. I've said this. Liberian politicians, most of them being in the West here and other things, but they are not that smart. They should learn some of these Western style. These people, they need serious counsel. They need an advisors, people to speak for them. But because everybody want to be in the eyes of the camera, normally when you see this kind of thing, in most cases, sometimes you see this thing, you just see the spokesperson, they just send a tweet, because you can open a conversation or a battle potentially that you know that you will not win, and especially to get in a fight with a media. That's a very dangerous path to walk on. You don't want to do that. But people who out there who don't know the essence of communications and how skillful people in the media industries, the writers, the people talking, they can destroy you in a twinkle of an eye. You think you want to take them on? There's no government that I'm saying that you can fight a media for you to win. And we are not saying that media should pick on them, but that's their job to support, to report. And once they're reporting, if it is factual, come out and just take responsibility and just say, you know what, X, Y, Z, and just send a tweet. He is a good political satire that I know, and I won't be surprised when he takes that line. But I think the best thing, and you heard some of the supporters, those who are trying to be to stick with him, to get him to be where he say, yeah, we support him, but this one here, he missed the mark. He kicked the can down the road. So, there's a need. So people are still willing to give, people get second, third, fourth chances. But when you become so adamant and you become so politically correct, then you are walking on a slippery ground. Okay, tomorrow when all goes well, I'm going to be hosting your guy from your own county to Melvin Cole, Representative Melvin Cole. So you're going to be come here. You will speak, you will fight or what?
Oh, I will fight. I want to fight. I just want to ask some questions. That's what I mean. So I can't fight these people. But that's my mouth. I want to ask him,
You were asking why he took it under 15K, and if you take the other one, hopefully he doesn't cancel. But I will try to confirm that. But tentatively, he has agreed to appear, and he's going to be here at 4:00 tomorrow, right here on the Freedom Watch program. Pa George, I want to thank you so much for chipping in here this afternoon. And we also leave our microphones open to hopefully to the senator when he agrees. We have done that a million times in the past.
Maybe the senator will want to come. Maybe he will want someone else to appear on the program so he can come.
Well, I don't run beyond. I don't have time for that. I do the invitations. I get in touch with your people, and we did a letter in the past. We do everything possible we can just to get your version. But if you choose not to come, so be it, and that's it. That's not going to deter or to have this sort of talking point here. But I think all including me, you, all of us, and even the most troubled group is the followers who just take a black cloth and tie their faces and say no, even if it is yes. And there's no way that they can even defend anything. I don't think you are doing your supporters and even people you tend to support, you're doing them good. And the opposition, they need to be very careful because they are not even, I don't see the connection. The opposition those days of Jabaro Kalont and Tuan Ray and all of those people, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was an opposition to really in the turn influence to the late Samuel Doe. They were very forceful. They were very they stick together. They didn't say we are collaborating, but hey, you can do what you want to do and I can do what I want to do. That's not in my own definition. It does not resemble collaboration. Collaboration, you have to come together because you are working towards a goal. And you have a spokesperson, but you have 555 members of all of them that are speaking. It's just ridiculous because you are not even setting a pace as an alternative to the crisis. You're becoming more or less part of the crisis. But believe me, if they are unified, opposition to by this time, like other country opposition party, they have like a spokesperson right here in the US, even EU. And I know those are things are expensive, but that's how you network. That's how you make your case viable. That's how you gain recognition with the international community. But when you sit down here and you think you're just going to cost, these people that begin to scratch their head, can we do business with these people here? Just how they're flipping up here, they will flip up. They need to have a policy. They need to be strategic in their position so that people will see them. But if they're having this kind of little bit kind of messy thing going on and stepping behind, kicking behind their own legs, believe me or not, we're gonna have a long way to go.
It is what it is. You see all the political parties. You don't see a spokesperson for the political parties.
They don't.
There's no official spokesperson that will come issue to address the president.
I think I have to talk to Chairman Senvi, who is a close friend to Darrell. Look, there are certain positions when you reach, and they don't know the danger in getting before camera. They don't know that.
No, they don't know.
You will never see a good politician who talks more than or walk more than his shadow. No. What they do, they have their fixer. They have people who dare to fix things for them. That's what they need to do. They need to have, at his level now, he needs to have a spokesperson.
Those follow-up
questions that you're going to talk about and everything else. Sometimes the people do a 410 letter tweet and that's it. You go figure out. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I just want to tell something that today. In politics, the thing that you overlook is what can destroy you.
Oh, yeah.
The one that you overlook is
and I provoke my man. Maybe I come in, you call in. Hold on 1 second before I go. There's no way I can. So I'm calling on you to be the spokesperson for.
Who's that?
Sammy, are you there?
Oh, Ben again, Ben.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm calling you to be the spokesperson for these people. They need to have somebody to speak for them. You know, honestly, I know you're going to make your point, but I think the politics in the country and the way our politicians, you can't keep doing this. You guys, you have to do it differently so that people will wonder what's going on. Yes, we're saying like here, but go ahead, make your point, my man.
So it's good to excellent interview with Lennart, and I think you did an excellent job, and Mr. George also, and I thought it was a great interview. Look, I think I've been very clear and public on this issue. Obviously, everybody knows that I'm a strong supporter of I'm a former chairman of the Liberty Party, so by that I'm a strong supporter of Senator Dillon. I consider him a friend and a brother. But listen, two things I would say. One, I've said it privately and I'm saying it publicly. I've spoken to all of my folks in Liberty Party. It is one of the most foolish decisions that we will make to go to war with a media institution. Whether it's it is nonsensical, and I've said this to all of my people. It makes no sense. What happens is that, and like you rightly said, there's no one. I don't really remember no one, whether a government or whether an opposition party or whether an individual.
Right.
You do not go to war with the media. There's a reason why people form alliances with media institutions. There's a reason why some politicians invest in media institutions.
Right.
It's because you know that the media is the media. Having said that, I believe Senator Dillon will do what is right. Again, like I said, I will not preempt what he's going to say on Tuesday.
What is right? Give me a little whisper in my ear, Ben, or you're going to text me.
Well, listen, he will do what is right. He is not perfect.
Mr. Senator, don't want to let it get out of the bed.
Perfect. I don't think he promised perfection. He did promise that he will be different. And it doesn't mean that he will not fall by the wayside.
Right.
He will fall. This is not going to be his last mistake.
Yeah.
But again, like I've always said, it's not how many times you fall, it's how many times you're able to wake up.
To keep the marathon going.
Acknowledge and keep progressing, right?
Right.
We have a lot of problems in our country. These things are going to continue to happen. I think the reason why people hold Dillon, which is a positive, by the way, and I said it on Spawn when Frontpage Africa came up with that editorial about the arrogance of power. I said it personally and I said it privately to my friend. I said to him, take this as a positive. You know, I have let me tell you, let me give you a quick story before I leave. Vice President Joe Howard Taylor said something on an interview she did one time, and I think stuck in my head. She said during her campaign when she was running for re-election as senator of Bond County, she had someone assigned to listen to all the radio stations in Bond County.
Mm-hmm.
And that person's job was to document every criticism that her opposition leveled against her. She documented every criticism and worked on those criticisms. So if the opposition can say, oh, she's been senator for 9 years, she has not gone to Bletana. She said the next week she will head to Bletana.
Wow.
So I said to my friend privately, this is just another stumbling block along the way. Your intention, and I love what Walu said, right? This is just another stumbling block. We've all flown business class. I've traveled the other day. I was traveling the other day. I bought an economy class.
Yeah, you know, quick chance to upgrade. Simple.
Yeah, and I got to the airport. In fact, when I got to the airport while I was checking in, it popped up. It said pay $50 and upgrade.
Exactly.
I paid $50 and I upgraded to business class, right? So I think, Senator, I believe in my heart, Senator Dillon will do what is right. Like I said, I don't want to preempt what he's going to say on Tuesday, but I just want to say that this is all of this I see as a positive. It's good for our democracy.
Right.
It's good that we're holding our leaders accountable. And I said to Dillon, the reason why people see you differently is because you have 200,000 plus votes on your shoulders.
Right.
It's not many people who ran for president, Mr. So, never got 200,000+ votes.
No.
That mandate is not an easy mandate.
You broke a chain.
So people are going to hold you differently. They're going to hold you accountable. So, but listen, I just wanted to commend you again.
Yeah, all right, my man.
Excellent interview, and I promise, like I said, we're talking back, and I promise to hop on one of these days, to contribute my one or two, so I can tag team with the Liberal Progressive and go after.
You want phone coalition with the Liberal? Okay. I tell you,
what he said yesterday,
that Liberal is a broken state. You can't rely on him going to dump you in the deep sea. I tell you now. So I let you know.
Mr. George is also an ally. Mr. George is also an ally, and I like his straightforwardness. Mr. George, his mindset is almost similar to what I have. I will hold my own accountable. Just sometimes I get a little flabbergasted when I see my friends on the CDC side try to pontificate, and that's why I was saying yesterday when Mr. Zaulu talked about my name being on the list. Yes, my name, the name came up on the audit. It didn't say I stole any money. Yes, it was a business loan that went defaulted, but that's not stealing, right? So it doesn't mean that you cannot say some of the things, but it's also for our democracy. We hold each other accountable.
Okay, that's Chairman Ben Service, someone who is so much has to put his words together, which is good. That's why if you want to be a politician, man, come on, you got to be far-sighted and be able to catch up with things. And I like what he said. He's going to do a good thing. So one can make a guess here that there's a deep conversation ongoing behind the scene, and the ordinary supporters, they need to chill out. What's your 1 minute before I go?
Padre? Oh yeah, I mean, let me say Ben. I follow Ben, Mr. Service, very well religiously. I follow him. I think I can say that swallow fufu because I like the way he talk. But Mr. So I just want to say to Senator Dillon and his supporters, Senator Dillon should take a step back. And let me say this. The thing that you overlook in politics is the one that can bring you down. Senator, that's my warning to you. Do not overlook anything in politics. If you overlook it, it will bring you down. And I want you to take a step back and just come on to say point blank, you know what? I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It was a bad choice I made. And I'm asking people for giving them and let them move forward. That's all I want for Senator Dillon. No other thing that can justify his action. Sincere apology is what I look for.
Yeah, let me tell you one old man Morris, right? He one of our crying old men. This whole child Julu stuff, right? Somehow he was involved, and they said Julu went to his house. So every time they will call him, can't explain why, So apparently they are calling over and over and over. And he got so sick and tired why he felt he has talked all. So this day he went to the director. He said, please call all the news people in the country here. I want to talk. So you know what it means when somebody of interest say, I want to speak. So everybody heads were rolling. Oh, what we want to hear, we hear everything. Everybody, when they mounted cameras, microphones, and everything, press conference, all set up to brought him. saying that. Everybody ready? Yeah. If I say you're ready, yeah. You put your microphone on now, yeah. You say, Mr. Director, everybody, statement finished. Right statement finished. He said, what? He said, just right statement finished. Every day you bring me in a one room and I talk and talk. Where I gotta talk? Statement finished. When you look at your friend look at you. What the hell going on here? He said, statement finished. And man, I told you the man came in my heart, he get dressed and everything. I told you everything. Then you're still asking me where I go. Statement finished. But George, I will catch you here tomorrow, same time. Network conversation for another edition of this program. Until then, folks, our follower, viewers, please, we don't do entertainment here to make the news proportional, discuss the issues. We don't antagonize. We give people fair. We ask try as much as possible to ask fair questions and give people the opportunity to make their side of the story heard. If Liberia is to be vibrant, is to get on course, all of us, including myself, it is important what I put out there. People that come to listen does not mean they don't have work to do. Of course, you have a lot of important things to do, but you tune in because you want to know what's going on within your country, your community. How will you feel when I deceive you, when I tell you something that is not true and only to go find out in a split second? Will you still have that guts to listen to me? Think about that. So we all must be held accountable. No one is infallible. We all make crazy and stupid mistakes every day, every blessed day. But you know what? They get a saying, I make people say, yes, sir, don't bust trust it. When they say you bring that man, just say yes, sir. But when you say you're not coming, then your pen's going to climb over your head. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. I'm Alfonso Zian Sawyer. I hope Representative Melvin Cole will not cancel. I will check up with him to have that conversation. So we're going to be doing the rounds here to talk to these people, all of us. It is our country, it is our interest, and we must be serious when we're having these conversations, and we must come with authenticity. That is very much important. God bless Mama Liberia and save the state. Pa George, thank you so much, and I'll catch you tomorrow. All right, folks, that's how we're going to leave it. I'm Alfonso Z and so of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant afternoon. Whoa, 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 whoa. Love is all we need to make it stick. This is the time to come together. Keep life in.
You be moy be hure ti blanka jira ke na won britanji be ngen de para ro bochen ba webe wada corona virus ke jiji we da bira muni no o je ke we ma corona virus ke o se penyi nwine o da ba ku ke ona nyo private ba woron kanana ke o je ke webe ma corona virus ke de be nyi twen ke mo ni jo yu wa rin son be aye nwoni ke nyi ko ni pra o ke nyi san ni pra ni me jo yi ka be de ro da pa nwe Benje de diyan bengin ke kwa menyu wana ka jenyu ke kwa mo igwo nyu ka be na blike de du yin mo yin benge de to be o benyu benge wana ke bengo yi blanye bengo mbuchen o kinki mo monda benge nyuru mo kwanyi tode soni mo de suike nin mo yin drian kwai boti sembla juke nyi bo mu ke na de soni dre kwai nyi dero yi pon ni me dre kwai o kwin mo we sembla ke ti sembla ke me dre kwai boti pra kwin o tani mo monda benge de benyo pra ye bengere mu o nyeni mo ni son ke me ba won juke nyi ko mu o nyi san ni o munyo ke mo monda benge ni mi memero konne o ni mi no ji meke nje ku o je monda bengo ta o bengo yidu bengo di se paren sa igu de ba ke nyoro o ji fi ba ble o ji yo wa be na wo je nyoni ke yi ka tre ni be pa pi de mu wura be ni ta to be o wa ko mu monda be ro mo bengo ke bu fwen cha ke juke de ro jiji de be panto be mu obre fro pa be koni be mu be ko komra nyome o nyome be wa ne penye be ko wa bo chenwura ne zuo bamba mi bodu toje botina ka mu pona ke de be so nye omode Ministry of Health program wo ke mu
anye pokra wa na wura wa mu sonati na ji ne be amplede de ne ji be amplede mo kwete omone ojira kono ambo kwera o dratu nye poyidu akwarati o patu nye poyidu te o police no o gba wa kono amu wo o nyine mo coronavirus kan ye nu odade ne kwera o se kureko ajira ba obo fon ne ma be o ji mpona ne na kokure ne sho parem ja na fura mu ne sunu ne tine du anti na shanati e ma be na jira be tijira de kure ba nu ka na woro ne na woro yi mara ne puam no kunya ne kuti ne be plerem de ne ba nu ore shawa nkpon kra bro akpo ke akora ati one na bro akpo ete akomba repeti po ne o sha nkpon jisa de mbe nu na mo botunyi po yidu kwa tutu e ma be mu dere mo ton detenya ne ji ne woto kwe tiwe woto wa kwe wona kwe na bi woto wa wo kare esha be nita semre bi bombo ti trone o e ma be fufonye po yidu ifota trone boti bore fufonye nyen pape ne e ma be najira be kokure mo najira be sha ne pokwa wi na shanshia ta na kokure ndo wule on se tunye po yidu ti buburale nime o mena pru bo nya tuntun mo bo didia ponya kwagbe o ma me ko na gba dero tu de bele mo prosun bele yo de po e ma be tunyin boju o foran shone noja mo ti karembe in o fosation ne wura ka na po piteti yo bo tunyin po yido boti kwane e be tene nyimbe no nya ti na bo enu ne e ma be jinyimbe ore o sha otana aniara osha okon ke owo rara oti ne aprere anye fo pore iniane tane aniara ne biyo tijira de kote owo rara tiyo ne puse na pam to wacho na ba ti ko bam no kunya pokreti akre se tipo sara e de tamwa Ministry of Health e mwa kenyo anyo piasra
welcome ambla kaunga twai ulo kpangang ageku para kapo kumuka yi lono e plana Crossfire yi nyawo apanwe ngabo dakama coronavirus anu pai ngine kwa tamama coronavirus ka Crossfire yi nyawo anu so kwala mlimitama ega gbunu fama ega nuye ton ega nuye tiho tena ya marke ge koponga gabekale age krohang tahupa kulwe ngamba enu raso aga mage ya ge ya betu ge ye ton I will talk poma anele menga ba moi ipla de kema yekula van kema le ga banuma yeklama hu vanka kanda ka vanka ye yinga wa akporo da ya ten kreno ya kwela li lo kema pa dobosi ba ma aga ya yila sanama I gronjam volene ye yinga wa ninga subscriber yinga wa no atenke kle ivole ponju benu tamaka nai ifolena ya ga ba ton iye plela ya ga ba ti hoy iye plela ivola swapoma yi yo grom jambai pama ivo swapon kana to loy ivo je yo mi akanu da kpuna fama pama da awaka newe anele mane age manuti elu sapela de salte bona nui kofaka mai ivo siegwa nuna paka kwesu yi v ananu pole kanena age nwanga dume krong plana manuti ma kase ka wutoy ngulo apaka po akrai nukulu yinga de ka jalme kre ngundo library suba yi da ka da Ministry of Health